All right, let's jump into a really big thought experiment, something called the last human. I mean, have you ever wondered what the very end of our species would actually look and feel like?
Just think about that number for a second. 200,000 years. That's how long we, Homo sapiens, have been around. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around, right? So if our entire history was just one big book, what would that final page say? That's what we're going to dig into.
Okay, so quick heads up. This is not some doomsday prediction. We're not trying to be fortune tellers here. This is more of a profound inquiry. Because, by thinking about how it all could end, we actually get a much clearer view of where we are right now and our little place in this huge universe. So yeah, let's get curious. So where do we start? Well, maybe with the most unsettling category of all. The threats that, when you think about it, are staring right back at us in the mirror. We're talking about the dangers we create ourselves.
Yeah, these are the big ones, the kind of problems that come from our own brilliance and our own conflicts. You got the whole runaway AI scenario, right? The kind that gets smarter than us and goes beyond our control. Then there's the classic, chilling possibility of global nuclear war. And of course, you have the threats that aren't so sudden, the ones that creep up on us, like our climate hitting a tipping point, or a man-made virus that we just can't stop. What's fascinating here is how you can frame these disasters. It's like you have two totally different ways things could go wrong. On one side, you have this slow burn, like climate collapse. Think of it like a pressure cooker. The heat just keeps building and building slowly, quietly, until, pop, everything that keeps us going just fails. But on the other side, you have the sudden flash of a nuclear war. That's not a pressure cooker. That's like a pane of glass instantly shattering into a million pieces. Totally different feels, but they could both lead to the same end. Okay, so now let's pull back. Let's zoom out from the things we might do. Because, let's face it, we live on a planet that is incredibly powerful, and frankly, sometimes pretty violent. It has a very long history of just hitting the reset button. And this, wow, this timeline is just mind-blowing. It really puts our whole species into perspective, doesn't it? I mean, look at this. Life on Earth was almost completely snuffed out at least 5 times before we even existed. Take the Permian extinction. They call it the Great Dying for a reason. It wiped out something like 90% of all life in the oceans. It's a really humbling thing to think about. The planet doesn't need our permission to just start over. So the big takeaway here is that stuff like supervolcanoes or massive ice ages or the planet's magnetic poles flipping, that's not just movie stuff, that's real. It's part of the Earth's natural rhythm, a really deep, powerful, and sometimes violent rhythm. And we're just living through what is actually a pretty rare, quiet moment in its history. All right, let's zoom out one more time, I mean all the way out, to the biggest picture you can possibly imagine. Because we're not just on a powerful planet, we're floating in an absolutely massive and often pretty chaotic universe. Just look at this number, 10 to the power of 44 joules. Honestly, it's a number so huge our brains can't really process it. To put it in perspective, that's more energy than our sun will create over its entire 10 billion year life. And that's the energy from just one supernova explosion. And that right there, that just shows you how fragile we really are. A star dying hundreds of light years from here could just blast out a wave of radiation so intense it would literally shred our planet's ozone layer. We'd be totally exposed. And the craziest part? We would have absolutely no idea it was coming. And hey, supernovas, they're just one thing on the cosmic threat menu. You've got your classic asteroid impact. We all know how that worked out for the dinosaurs. You've got things called gamma ray bursts, which are like focused laser beams of energy that are even more powerful than a supernova. And then, of course, there's the one thing that's 100% guarantee. In a few billion years, our own sun is going to swell up and poof, goodbye Earth. So, wow. After looking at all of these ways it could end, you kind of have to ask a totally different question, maybe a more important one. If our time here isn't forever, then what was the point of it all? What's the meaning of the human story? I really love this quote. It's such a great way to think about it. It just completely shifts your focus, right? Away from just surviving and onto significance. Maybe it's not about being around forever. Maybe it's about what we do, the mark we leave, in the time we've got. What kind of echo do we leave behind? And maybe that's our real legacy. A story about a species that looked up at the stars and just wondered.
A species that learned to shape rocks into tools and crush berries into paint for art and build entire civilizations out of nothing but ideas. You know, it's the story of us putting a golden record on a tiny little ship and sending it out into the black. Basically a message in a bottle that just says, "We were here."
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. If someday some other intelligence finds the ruins of our world and tries to figure us out, what will they decide our story was about? Will it be a story about war and conflict, about a struggle to survive? Or will they find the arts and the music and the evidence of our love and our endless, beautiful need to understand everything? What was it all for? The thing is, that last chapter, it's not written yet.